pistol. And they swing it out to Blake Corum, in trouble behind the line of scrimmage. And made it.
They are really good against the run, and they have excellent corners to defend the pass on the perimeter.
3rd down and 8. McNamara looking to the sideline for help with the play. 4 minutes in, no score. First meeting between these two teams since 2002. Long pass, batted down.
Great position right here to maybe take a shot off play action. Great field position.
McNamara handed it off. Hassan Haskins got free.
Watch the backside guard and tackle. Just a little counter play. Excellent job by Zinter. He gets his block, and then Stuber, number 71, with a nice block on the.
He averaged 7.8 yards per carry last week.
2 backs now.
And it swung out wide to Blake Corum, didn't catch it. It's ruled in again. A 76-yard touchdown catch in that game. Hassan Haskins
Safety, and they tackle well in space. They don't give up a lot of big chunk plays.
In 4 games last year, they gave up only 1 play from scrimmage of 40 yards or more. They blitz. McNamara got it off. The throw by Cade McNamara.
Yeah, good timing by Bradley Hiles, and amazing that McNamara was even able to.
69. Ron Later has been there at the National Tennis Center watching the action. Going for his 21st major title, would be the most of all time. Women's doubles final starts the coverage tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ESPN. Hassan Haskins take the throw from Bob Gregory. Kate Kurkowski went to Texas to serve in that role for Steve Sarkisian. Haskins found room outside and went down to the calling the defense. It's a great defensive mind. And they weren't really ready, as you could staff. Jim Harbaugh brought in a lot of young coaches. Most of them are under 40 years old. You can feel the energy in their building. McNamara got blasted.
Take a look at Cooper McDonald. He's going to be the guy on the play action. Michigan's trying to go with a play action and take a shot down the field. And McDonald did a nice job of beating the block. Didn't get a turnover. And ultimately they lost the game 13-7.
-3 in turnover margin against Montana. Very good Montana team, we should add. It's now ranked number 4 in FCS, but still a very surprising result. Last time they played in 17. Washington substitution. And Martin spread it off the field for the Washington defense. Trying to get a stop on 3rd down and 15.
I talked about that deep safety. You can't even see him in the screen right now. He's so deep. He's over 20 yards deep. This is why Washington limits so many big plays.
Julius Irvin back there, and the pass is caught. Back shoulder throw to Cornelius Johnson, still on his feet and dives inside. 1st and 10 from the 20. Blake Corum.
Yet here in the 1st quarter.
There's Wilson going in motion. Blake Corum stacked up.
Get too far behind in this ball game, in this stadium.
On 3rd down and 6, big hole, and Corum gives them 1st and. Looks like Jim Harbaugh's teams from Stanford with this formation.
Extra offensive line.
9 men across the offensive line. Haskins,
who's lined up as a tight end. That's 53. Lined up as a tight end. He's really the backup right tackle.
84, who just split out to the right, is Joel Honigford, a former offensive tackle. McNamara running out of time, throws it away.
3 tight ends, 1 extra lineman.
Haskins, the running back. Haskins stopped by the Huskies.
Haskins and Corum in the backfield together.
And 9 men across the offensive line. It is Haskins, the first man, stuffed at the goal line. No touchdown.
Front of the end zone plane. It doesn't have to get all the way in the end zone. Nice hit at the point of attack.
And a full-on crowd. 114,804. Bend record has since been surpassed.
So far tonight, 3 of 9 throwing the football against this Husky defense.
Blake Corum cannot turn the corner. Stops that is just dreadful right now. 3rd down and 5 for Cade McNamara.
Got to be aware of Corum coming out of the backfield as a receiver as well.
Corum trying to fight. It was Michael Barrett. And short snapped it to. Huge hole for Corum. Goodbye. The one play after the big play, and he just did, was set up by the fake punt.
The quick, short snap, perfect timing, well executed. Then they come back. And excellent execution on this play. Watch the block by the center. The start is he's going to come out here. The tight end, Schoonmaker, absolutely demolished their side of the line. And then the speed of Corum surprises the free safety. And Michigan answers with a touchdown.
10-0. Richard Newton lost the fumble. Covered by David Ajabo. Brad Hopkins ripped it out.
But this has been the identity of the Michigan offense so far this season.
Michigan already this season, less than a game and a half, has 4 touchdowns of 67 yards or more. Leaning heavily on the run, but they haven't lost explosiveness. Here's Mike Sainristil on
His way in between him and the ball. They need to roll him up or knock him to the ground.
Cade McNamara, now the shotgun, just 3 out of 9 passing for 29 yards. Blake Corum.
With Washington's defense on the field, these body blows and power running is going to take its effect, and particularly as you get to the second half of the fourth quarter of a ball game like this. Keep slamming away, and pretty soon it's going to take a little steam out of this Washington defense.
Corum, the running back, on the left. It's an option look, and Corum could not get away from
Another one trying something that crazy.
the Blackledge get up. Not always that energetic. Ben Herbert
Plays in the backfield.
2nd and 8. 1 timeout left for Washington if they want to get the ball back. A.J. Henning with nowhere to go. Brendan Radley high throw, and it's incomplete. Then stop the clock. Did Washington good field position in time. Mara slides down.
In football that he wants to see.
Didn't ask much from Cade McNamara in the first half. He threw just 10 passes, 4 out of 10. They start on the ground with
On the touchdown run by Corum after the fake punt on the first down play. We think as well as Michigan has run the football, that play action, they might be able to hit some chunk plays here in the third quarter off of play action pass.
Haskins straight ahead. Year in and year out there among the very best in not giving up plays of 40 or more. This is a big one. Hassan Haskins, St. Louis.
Jeremiah Martin got too far inside. He's got to be the edge defender here. Watch him go so far inside. It's an easy block for Zach Zinter, the point guard.
Could have been a much bigger gain. Cade McNamara, junior from Reno, Nevada, the quarterback, 2-time Gatorade State Player of the Year in Nevada. He committed to Notre Dame, changed his mind. Haskins, tough run.
Touchdown run of Corum, and you see the difference between thunder and lightning in this Michigan backfield. And that is just pure power.
Big Ten didn't start playing games until November. Michigan went 2-4. Here's Corum. Corum down the sideline. 17-yard gain to get him to the 17-yard line. Opening drive of the second half, 6th play for Michigan, already leading 10-0. Corum at the opponents, and at least through a game and a half, it's working very well. 7. Did a lot of this with the San Francisco 49ers as well. To the left, Stanford. Shift into the pistol. It's Corum running left. Great work by that offensive line. And a Michigan.
Watch the left tackle and the left guard. 76 Ryan Hayes, 77 Trevor Keegan. They start out together. They both pick out a block. And then Corum gets right.
This is a very together Michigan team.
0-5. Again.
Need to get to that standard. And if we can get to the point where we're playing nose to nose with them again, then we'll be able to handle and play with everybody on our schedule. And they have not been at that standard at that level, and Ohio State has been. You know, that game today, Oregon proved one way if you want to beat Ohio State, you got to win at the line of scrimmage. And they did today, the Ducks.
Back by Brian Griese. 3rd down and 6. Finally a pass from McNamara. Catch by Corum. And right back to the ground they go with Hassan Haskins. That they'd get the freshman quarterback J.J. McCarthy into the game, at least for a series or 2. He played last week. They played 3 quarterbacks, in fact. And Valari also played in the win over Western.
Just having gotten that game experience a week ago.
They wanted to get some game experience in case they need to use him.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this.
I do. Haskins just does get it.
Washington, but they have to show that kind of a threat down the field.
They both Corum. Whoa, trouble in the exchange, and McNamara 44 yards rushing, and Haskins 101. Under Jim Harbaugh, Michigan is 28-1 when one rusher goes for 100 yards, and they have 2 tonight. The only loss was to Penn State last year with a 100-yard rusher. McNamara, 3rd down 13 in the final minute of the 3rd quarter. It's 10-0 Michigan at the half. Play clock all the way down to 1 as McNamara took the snap. Takes the check down to Corum, tried to go up and over, and he paid the price. And Dominique Hampton better be careful. Here comes the flag. Oh, a terrible penalty by Hampton. A taunting call go against them last week, so these fans saw that. Haskins, run by the head coach of the Ravens. John Harbaugh watching with interest as his brother Jim's team leads 17-3 as we go to the 4th quarter, and Michigan has it 2nd and 1 at the Washington 25. Blitz off the corner. McNamara ran right by where the blitzer would be, and then he got flat.
Tonight.
1st and goal now for Michigan from the 6-yard line, already leading 17-3, trying to take advantage of the penalty for taunting that kept the drive alive. During the break, John said, I'm going to talk to my team tonight about taunting. Here's Haskins in the end. In real time, Todd's going to circle. You want to tell us anything about this play?
Break a tackle, man. That's good running right there.
For 3:35 last week in the opener, the new look Michigan offense running the football.
And the freshman you mentioned earlier, Donovan Edwards, in there. Coach Ron Bellamy, who has joined the Michigan staff this year, another of those new coaches. Sainer still.
Safeties, and we talked to Mike McDonald, and he's just got a really great rapport with our players. He brings something to the staff that none of the other guys bring, and has been a welcome addition to this kind of remade Michigan football staff.
3rd down 7. Can Washington get another stop? Yes, they can.
Saw him come from the opposite side. Michigan got the stop.
And off to the races.
So their 2 best players are these 2 tailbacks that we're seeing featured tonight. Find ways, practices, going to meetings, coaching up the young receivers. Part of that culture Molly talked about, that different feeling, and it was a different feel that we even felt being in the football building yesterday. Again, we didn't do a game last year of Michigan, but that 2-4 season was embarrassing to anybody that had anything to do with Michigan football.
Haskins again. coming up on.
Throw the ball. It's run out of spread sets. It's hard to prepare for teams like this. Hard to have scout teams give you a good look.
Visit with him now in recent years. Haskins.
This is a little subtle thing that Cade McNamara is doing really well right now. Now, he hasn't.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Here it's a 14-point lead for Michigan. The Wolverines have a 1st and 10 of the Washington 17. Blake Corum. Shut out Alabama State. They're both 2-0. It'll be a whiteout game.
You would guess, right? Mays out. And really, Oregon controlled the line of scrimmage, which was the most impressive thing today.
Blake Corum has the first down. First
McNamara get that done. And then also, who can step up to take the place of Ronnie Bell?
There's Corum with another touchdown.
Multiple tight ends. Watch Horningford, number 84. Watch the other tight end, Eric All, come across the formation. Just outstanding blocking by those tight ends. They've played 2 now. I think they're capable of it. They just haven't had to do it in the first 2 weeks.
Last year was rough all the way around, 2 and 4.